they sort of acted like, well, yeah, this is how business is done. They're complicit.
That's true. You know, and if Don Trump Jr., or Eric Trump, or anybody in that family had done 1/100th of this, if they had made one phone call. Remember, they had a meeting that they went to in Trump Tower with a woman who was kind of connected between different seats of faith to the Russian government. And that meeting alone, where they just listened to her and said, thank you very much, they tried to use that to bring down the entire Trump administration.
Yeah.
Here, we have the Vice President of the United States at the time calling into meetings with the most corrupt people in the world. I mean, I lived in Moscow at the behest of the Clinton administration in the 90s, and Ms. Baturina, this Russian oligarch, the most rich woman in Russia, when I was there, she wasn't so rich. She was simply the mayor's wife, but she is a thug in a dress.
Yeah.
And the Vice President of the United States is talking to her on the phone, and let me tell you something, it wasn't about the weather.
Yeah, and I think he dropped by a dinner party at Cafe Milano. And I love the way the media covers it. They're like, well, he just dropped by on his way home. The man is the vice president. If he's driving home in a motorcade from the White House, he goes up Connecticut, DuPont Circle, straight up Mass Avenue to the Naval Observatory. You divert a vice presidential motorcade to Georgetown during rush hour with Secret Service. That's not just a little side trip, Michael Caputo.
It's not. And Larry, I know you've been there for a while. Cafe Milano is a shady place.
Oh, yeah.
It's very high-end, very expensive, but it's filled with expensive hookers. It is probably one of the shadiest places in Washington, D.C., in the heart of Georgetown. I can tell you that sitting down with a corrupt oligarch from Russia, as you know, kind of on a side trip from on your way home to the vice president's mansion, to the Naval Observatory, it's absolutely shady from the very beginning of that story. Honestly, as someone who spent a lot of time in Ukraine, who has family in Ukraine, I shot a film and wrote a book about the Burisma scandal as it was just starting to become known. They'll do anything to stop this information from coming out. I don't blame Devin Archer for fearing for his life. They went after me because of my book, The Ukraine Hope, and more importantly, because of my film of the same name. Because they would do anything to stop the Hunter Biden mess from becoming public. Remember, all the lies they told before the election about Hunter's laptop. It's the same pressure they were putting on me and my team after the election to try to make sure that the things that I wrote would never make it out.
Michael, you've been predicting for the last couple of times we've talked here on O'Connor tonight that Biden will not be the nominee and it'll be Michelle Obama. I'm guessing that hasn't changed here, but has the timeline for Biden actually maybe even leaving office prematurely, is that heightened now?
Well, you know, I think there's a theory going around. I think a lot of different talk show hosts and stuff are talking about it, where this is going to end up in Joe Biden pardoning his son, and probably just saying he's not going to run for re-election. I still think that's the timeline.
Okay.
The problem that the Democrats have, if it's a free-for-all in the primaries and caucuses on the Democrat side, an absolute bloodbath because the president suddenly pulled out, they're not going to be able to control who wins.
So they need to wait until after the primary season, so it's a convention decision.
It is, and I think that means we're going to see so many contortions and twists and turns.
Wow.
And see the goalposts move so many times from, Joe Biden never spoke to his son about his business. Joe Biden is not in business with his son. Joe Biden didn't actually take the deposit. Joe Biden, gave all that money to orphanages. These goalposts are going to move over and over again.
While the goalposts continue to be moved all over the Hunter Biden inquiry and his access to the big guy, the Department of Justice is pressing an indictment of Donald Trump, essentially over speech. Here's Dennis Prager.
It's a free speech issue. He could say all he likes. He thinks he was cheated. In the United States of America, you are arrested, indicted, convicted for what you do, not for what you believe. The number of Democrats who thought that Hillary Clinton had been cheated out, that Al Gore, how many Democrats said that Al Gore was cheated out of a victory against George W. Bush? It must have been in the millions, including some of the biggest Democrats. Can you imagine arresting them or arresting Hillary Clinton for saying that? That's what's involved here. It's actually very disconcerting. Disturbing is better than disconcerting. I am currently reading a very, very long book on Russia between 1917 or 1916 and 1922 when the Bolsheviks took over Russia. The Bolsheviks were the communists. They were a small part of society, and they were ruthless, and they suppressed all dissent. And reading that book and living through America today and watching the left in America copy the Soviets, watching the newspapers copy Pravda, if you don't see it, I know why. You don't want to see it, and I don't blame you. I do not blame you. It is too painful. People avoid pain. I understand that. I really do. But that's what this is about. Aside from which, if we had seen this happen, if a right-wing government had done this to a left-wing, the left-wing leader of the opposition in a South American country, we would have said, of course, what do you expect? It's a banana republic. At least if it was in Central America, that's where banana republics got their name. That's what we are becoming as well. Corrupt, like so many of the other governments have been in the Western Hemisphere. But it doesn't matter. People hate Donald Trump. This is a very disturbing moment in American history.
Thank you for joining us for the Town Hall Review with Hugh Hewitt. Special thanks to executive producer Russell Shubin and producer David Puchon, Tim Gottner, Harley Edie, Adam Ramsey, and of course, Dwayne Patterson. Let me say thanks once again to our sponsor, the Pepperdine Graduate School of Public Policy. I'm Hugh Hewitt. Thank you for joining us.
The preceding program was pre-recorded.
You can host the best backyard barbecue. You find a professional on Angie to make your backyard the best around. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that. My doctor told me my blood pressure is borderline. I figured I could worry about it or do something about it. So I took control with Garlic Healthy Blood Pressure Formula. It works safely and naturally to help maintain healthy blood pressure with a custom blend of garlic, vitamins, and minerals. And it's odor-free. I'm taking charge with Garlic Healthy Blood Pressure Formula.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
Listen to AM 970 The Answer on Alexa, TuneIn, iHeart, or Odyssey.com.
Assurance Senior. Perform audit under PCAOB/USGAAS standards. Detect deficient controls, accounting errors and irregularities and/or non-compliance. Requires experience with auditing public and private corporations. Financial record in compliance with GAAP accounting standards. Strong research, communication, client management, and organizational skills. 88 to 115,000 per year. Apply at markhamllp.com/careers. Job number R2716. Job in New York, New York.
This is an urgent announcement for anyone that's $10,000 or more in debt. Before you make another minimum payment, you need to know there are special programs that can completely free you of your debt. Total Financial Freedom can help you become debt-free in